It did not, from everything that's been said, it did not happen overnight. From what I've been told, it's been happening, going on for about 4 or 5 years, correct? Been building up, correct?
Yes.
You know, and it just kind of came to a head whenever they had, and since it did not happen overnight, I mean, this is nothing that we can resolve overnight. There's certain, all y'all know that there's certain hoops that I'll have to jump through, and it'll take time, but it'll be resolved. Okay?
Okay.
That's now. Anyone got any comments on that?
What do you expect the resolution to be? The hostility is so great that it is very difficult for us to have a grade level meeting. So our grade level chair has been doing this per email. Mm-hmm. I understand that it didn't happen overnight, but we've been dealing with this since August, and we are being asked to come in this building every single day and perform 100% at a 96A school, and we do that. We do to the best of our ability. So every day that she's allowed to sit down there in that room
And do nothing.
and do absolutely nothing when she is going after school every day, operating a full-time business. Are you aware of that? That she operates a tutoring business?
Yes.
She leaves here. She even transports children from here to her tutoring business. That is a fact. That's not a supposition. That is a fact. Every day she leaves here and operates a full-time business.
Is that student in her class?
No, it's not.
Okay. We've had, even here, we've had a situation to come up. As long as it's not her student, there's no ethics violation. Like I said, it's
I'm not worried about that part. I'm saying that if she's unable to complete her duties as a teacher, but she's able to operate a full-time business,
what part of her duties? The only part that I know of is the walking part is the only thing that I know of is a problem.
Right, she doesn't do recess duty and she doesn't do playground duty.
Because it requires her to walk.
But she is able to walk a further distance to the computer lab and to music so that she can enjoy some student free time.
Every week.
More than once. So there's just so many.
When is she going to the computer lab?
Twice a week.
Twice a week,
And once
and
a
then
week
once
for
for
music.
music.
For what reason?
Computer lab time.
To take her kids
We
to
all have
computer
that.
lab and to take them to music.
Okay, so that's the normal.
Specialist.
A normal.
And she never misses getting them there.
Okay.
No.
But she doesn't do playground duty and she doesn't do lunch
Recess.
duty. But then she leaves and she does a more stressful job by tutoring. I tutored with her. I know it's a stressful job. It's a lot of kids. She has a booming business.
I mean.
Oh gosh! In the summer, I don't know about the year, but in the summer, we had probably 15 to 20 kids. She's got several tutors, a multiple amount of tutors coming in and out different days of the week. I mean, it is a booming business that, in my opinion, is way more stressful than walking to the playground and walking to lunch. That's our point.
Okay.
That's our point.
And it's at Southside Elementary, and you have to walk up that flight of stairs
Yes.
to get into the building.
And she's back and forth, handling different kids at different times. She never sits down. Not while I was there. She's the director. She's the leader. She goes from place to place and handles the situations that may occur. Gets the kids in car line. It's a car line situation, like what we have out here. She doesn't do car line duty either. That's
Did she
our
do
point.
line duty before?
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah, she's done
Yes.
before.
Yes, sir. She did. Yes, sir. Yeah.
I think one thing that's probably one of my biggest frustrations is in the board policy, it says 10 days. So while I understand it does take time and there are certain things that you have to accomplish, if that's the case, then the board policy needs to be changed. I mean, we need to have some sort of structure when situations like this arise where everybody's clear. This has been handled so frustratingly because everything's been so unclear and we've been kind of left in the dark a lot of it, and we're coming, like they said, day after day, I just kind of wondering what's going on. And while I do understand there's a lot at play, I mean, I get it, there's many factors that I'm sure we're unaware of that you're having to handle, but if it's not going to be, if we're not following board policy, then board policy needs to be changed.
Yes,
if you're not able to resolve it within that certain time frame. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Do you understand kind of like our, I guess our frustration as far as like
Dr. met with you, and
and we never heard
Never
anything
heard
from
anything.
it.
Okay.
So in board policy, it says that we should have a resolution in writing. So when we filed our grievance, it was like it wasn't even taken seriously until AEA refiled the exact same grievance.
Exactly.
So like on his website, they have a formal grievance letter, and then it shows whose hands it goes to and what date it goes to this person. I mean, there needs to be some sort of structure to where everybody is clear and on the same page, because we just really have felt just left out to dry.
I'll be honest, I almost feel as if
You're in trouble.
I'm the criminal.
Yeah.
And you have 6 people telling you that this is not a good environment.
Yes, ma'am.
6 of us. Why are
Well,
we
well,
treated
well,
as if we're the criminals?
Yeah.
Now I checked, and then of course one of the questions I asked when I met with y'all.
Like that first question when I came in and you said, now, how have you ever had an argument with? And I'm thinking,
What does that have to do?
what does that have to do with
Yeah.
things?
This is about
She's
an
one of my
ongoing
best friends.
issue. And it's even if we had all had an issue, it's different
But-
than yelling at someone in the hallway and calling them the B word.
Yes, ma'am.
It's the level of unprofessionalism
Yeah,
and
that's right.
instability that she exudes. We're not even on the same island, but yet we're being interrogated.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Sure.
When we go back to that incident in the hallway, the verbal assault, and it was, my understanding was recommended administrative leave. I mean, I still do not understand why we've been forced to work with her when during this whole investigation. I mean, right now we've got 6 teachers sitting at the house, I guess.
I go back to my questions when I met with y'all earlier. Has Miss ever physically threatened you? And
okay,
It's
wait,
violated
wait.
the Alabama Educator Board Code of
Wait,
Ethics.
wait,
More than
I
one.
mean, it's black and white.
Okay,
It's in
we're
a
getting-
One at a
document.
time. It's my turn. I'll give you your
Kevin
chance.
talk, Nate, before we.
Okay, I'll give you your shot. And I asked each one of you, has she ever physically threatened you? And I didn't say verbal harassment. I asked physical, because there's a difference. And each one of you said no. Now, whenever I asked about the verbal harassment, each one of you said yes. Okay, now.
It's in the Alabama Educator Code of Ethics. I always go back to like the documentation that we have
Yeah.
of how are we supposed to required to act in this arena. And it's in there. I mean, you can't harass colleagues, but then
right.
there's no reprimand.
Or
So,
harassing.
I mean, if we need to constantly keep going back to what do we have in writing? In writing, we have the Alabama Educator Code of Ethics that we're supposed to be following. In writing, we have the board policy that we're supposed to be following. I mean, there's no argument in these 2 facts. And that's why we have a student code of conduct, because we can constantly go back to that and say, this was violated,
Yes, we have to follow,
this
that's
needs
right.
to be handled within this certain time period. And I think that's kind of and I know I said this earlier, that's the frustrating part to me, because we have rules for a reason,
Yes, ma'am.
and we have consequences for a reason. And when somebody continues to violate that and there's no consequence, then that's what they're going to continue to do. And then we're suffering being in this work environment when we've done nothing wrong.
Exactly.
And I guess my thing is, you keep saying, was it a physical threat?
As far as I know, y'all haven't done anything wrong.
No, that's why
haven't.
we're so. That's why we are.
But
You feel that from us, is that it appears that we're in the wrong for coming forward.
Yeah.
That's why that question.
And that's why I told you I wasn't going to answer that, because it has absolutely nothing
That's your
to do
choice.
with what's going on right now.
But now, again, my whole thing, and I want to deal with this. It may not be on your time frame, but I'm going to deal with this. Because as I've told you, there's certain hoops I've got to jump
Yes,
through.
and I understand that.
And it will be dealt with. Mr. spoke last week. But again, except all the other ladies have said that this verbal harassment has been going on for several years. Am I right?
Yes, but I want to say, because
Okay.
I know even when you interviewed each one of us, you kept saying physical.
Yes, ma'am.
We're coming to you with the situation so that it doesn't get physical.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Because she's capable of that. Like I told you in the interview, she's the type of person, she'll come in here cool as can be, like nothing's wrong, and then she comes in here and snaps. We don't want it to get to that
Have
point.
you ever seen her other than...
That day when she was in, I thought she was going to hit her, but I was standing right there,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
maybe she, decided to.
Is that the only time you ever seen her snap like that?
No, there's
Oh
been many
no!
times
Oh no!
she's getting
Oh
upset.
no! She's gotten upset. She has had tantrums in the hallway.
Yes. In front
of
One
children.
time she thought that someone was okay. One time she thought that someone was trying to single her out and not give her credit, that her kids didn't make whatever score. And I'm in the middle of teaching and I can hear her screaming down that hallway. She has an all-out tantrum. Her kids are still in the room so they can hear everything that's going on. But it's like she doesn't know how to control it. So when she gets to that point that she's upset, everybody's going to hear about it.
About
Did
our
you hear it
scores
too?
and ranked us.
Yep.
And she was at the bottom or something for that particular ranking, and it just infuriated her.
And that's what I told you. That's the same thing with the t-shirts. When she felt like no one else heard what she was saying, and then everyone jumped on the bandwagon when someone said something else is such a good idea, then it's like, listen, I've held my tongue long enough.
Then we all get an email.
Yeah, then we get this email about how she feels and how she tries to do everything for everyone. It's to the point where she feels like she's being singled out.
Go back. This was about the T-shirts.
Yes.
I gave you
The
that. copy of
email.
that email.
Okay.
The email with the t-shirts where she was like, listen, ladies, I've held my tongue long enough. And it was
What
just
were
over
the t-shirts
t-shirts. For third grade.
Oh,
Like
okay.
when we
Oh,
make
okay.
t-shirts for third grade. And she was like, another teacher's mom said she would do it, but she never did talk to us about it again. So how we were responsible.
I'll go back and look at your packet.
Yeah, I gave it to you. It's an email.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
If you don't
yeah.
have it, I can get it.
And it was a long email because she kept going back and forth about how she felt left out. We never included, which is not true. Like we went back to saying her going to Pensacola because of her, complications with her pregnancy, subs in and out of her room, teachers making copies. She doesn't think about all those things. It's like, boom, at this point you did me wrong. Now I'm out to get everybody. It's like revenge,
Yes.
Well, it's two standards. She can do her own thing and not include you,
There you go.
but you better include her.
Yeah, and if you don't include her, then you get a strike.
Because we've gone through that many a times of, doing like a certain thing together, but she's always going to do her own thing because her mama's got somebody who works somewhere who's going to give everything to them. But she never includes us.
She doesn't consider everyone else when everyone else takes the time to consider her
Right, but we
and
have to
help
consider
her.
her.
Because then it went from that point to so then it's like, then she has a grudge against because of the baby shower. When she clearly told, hey, y'all can go ahead and have the baby shower because I'm going to be in Pensacola having my babies. She gave her that permission. Well, then when we get back, it's like, y'all didn't even have me my own baby shower. What? We were so confused.
It's always.
And then I hand delivered her
It's-
all the gifts.
And she hand delivered her all the gifts.
All the gifts.
I feel like, an egg crate, you gotta be careful when you bring them home from the grocery store. I'm so tired of
But
walking
this is
around
the
on
thing.
eggshells.
I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I said, we should never have to feel like we have to walk on eggshells at work. We should be able to come in here and perform like we're supposed to.
I feel
We're
like I
all
constantly have
excellent
to stroke her
teachers.
and keep her from being mad
We
at me
work.
and-
We work hard. We're in A school. We've been in A school for 3 years now, about to be 4. I mean, we are dedicated, hardworking teachers.
My comment, when I was a teacher, I go back when I was a student, I enjoyed my time as a student in Houston County Schools. I want everyone, all our students to enjoy it. I enjoyed when I was a teacher, and you should be able to enjoy.
Yes.
You should.
So.
And I want to say this because I'm usually, this is so out of my element. I stay under radar. I do what I'm supposed to do, and I try to stay out of trouble. I am having to rethink my whole. This is not even me. This is not even my personality. And to look at my superintendent and say I'm not going to answer a question is very difficult for me.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want you to know that I respect you as a person, and I respect you as our superintendent. But we're here because of what she said. We are still going through something, and we still haven't gotten a resolution or even a plan of what you plan on doing. That would bring us some comfort
Some type of, yeah.
Well,
sorry.
that we're being heard.
Yes, ma'am. And you are. In fact, I will tell you that I won't tell you what we spoke about. But Mr. spoke last Friday. Was it Friday we spoke?
Yes, sir.
We're making plans, and I will tell you that we're looking at things. Like I said, I'll just say that there's offers and things in place.
I know we've been dealing with this since August, so that's September, October, November, December. It's been 4 months. We love our school. This is where people want to be.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
the dream place. This is the honey spot. But having to deal with her every day is unbearable. I mean, it's like this rainy thundercloud over us. It's caused us so much stress that we're having to document, watch our step, watch our back, deal with all this other stuff that we're not even able to enjoy the good life. This happened in August. She has been here the whole time. We've not seen any consequences,
Any
even
changes,
though, yeah.
Almost
and
it's like she's being rewarded.
Yeah.
Okay, well now you don't have to do your duties.
Yeah.
They're going to do
And
extra work on
and
your
it's
part.
almost like she knows that the ball's in her court. Yeah,
Yes.
she's just playing it
She's
how she wants to
winning.
play it.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating for
Yeah.
the 6 of us who we feel, that's why we feel that we are not being supported. Because we haven't seen a change. She is continuing to come every day as if nothing has happened. When others, in other scenarios,
Out of here.
out within 24 hours.
Yeah.
That
When
was like a
comments
slap in
made
our
that-
face.
that she's got Miss in her back pocket.
Yeah.
Further
Well, it's
causes me
evident.
great-
Yes.
And I've said this before, but I feel she does feel empowered,
Yeah,
and
she
she
sure
has been
does.
able to walk
Absolutely.
through this. And I feel for these teachers. I'm not on that hallway. I mean, I've heard them talk when they've talked to you, and I understand you got some things to deal with. I understand that. But I just don't hear of anything, that's still going to be anything that's.
Of course, I'll be honest. I defer to our attorney, our board attorney, and I went on his recommendation. And like I said, in fact, our board attorney said that should have been a school level meeting, but I understand because she had representation. He wanted representation, which I don't blame him.
Yes, yes.
Yep,
That's what made us get the 8. We
Absolutely.
had to have
Yeah.
our backs covered.
So
And
anyway,
especially going to that meeting without representation the first time.
but the difference was the legal. That's so. But
Is there an end in sight? This happened at the beginning of the school year. Are you going to expect us to continue to work in a hostile work environment for the rest
I will
of the
try to
year?
get you a timeline by tomorrow.
I'm like her, I'm respectful. I really respect your position, but it's like kicking the can down the road.
Yes,
And I know it's a bad time. I know it's election year. We have been hearing next week, Friday.
Yes.
Friday never comes. Next week never comes. And I understand that, there's a lot more going on that, that I have nothing to do with. But we're talking August the 9th, and this is what, December the 5th?
December the 5th.
Well, now, of course,
I mean-
when we left the attorney's office that day. I pretty much, maybe I was wrong, but I thought that we had reached a ending.
Well, we may have, but like I said, when I spoke with you, she beefed up her retaliation. And one thing that I did,
And what did she do when you say she beefed up her retaliation?
I gave you several
Okay.
examples just so you could listen to
Okay.
a recording. One thing that I failed to mention during that interview, I know I notified, but I had moved my car from the front of the middle school over to the side where the building A was sitting in her car on the passenger side. Why? I have no idea. She had duty free. It was 100 degrees outside. The only available parking space was right there beside her car. Well, she was sitting on the passenger side. Like I said, no idea why. It's odd to me, but anyway. And as soon as I'm getting out of my car, she holds up her phone and is videoing me or taking pictures, I think video. Had given me some clothes for my grandbaby, and I was returning the ones that, we weren't going to use. And so it was a heavy item. So that was the reason. That was on my planning time, my break. I should not have to anticipate being targeted, retaliated against, or bullied just when I'm moving my car. But it's those kinds of things, because she hasn't hit me. It goes on and on. Harassment is harassment.
And that's what's in
It
the
does
code of
not
ethics.
matter
Harassment of a colleague.
if she hit me or not. And I'm like, what's it going to take? Is she going to have to slice one of us with the box cutter that she keeps in her room? I mean, what is it?
Does she keep a box cutter?
Yes, she does.
For
And Miss-
what reason?
I have no idea. You would have to ask her. This is just me as a human being. I know you are worried about her suing, and you know what? She's going to sue you sooner or later. She's going to turn on you. She's going to turn on Miss and anybody else that says no to her one time.
There you
That's
go.
all it takes.
Yep.
But when we're all blown up or cut, you're going to have 6 lawsuits, because we've got at our attorney's offices records of all of this. Now you're talking about 6 lawsuits. Now I'm not saying I'm threatening to sue, but I'm saying if we're dead, our folks are going to come after you, because we know you knew. We are begging you to do something.
Okay.
Also, from all of this, I would like to see something put in place that is like a clear-cut form. Like, I don't know if we need to go to some sort of employment lawyer to review our policies, but our board to update our policies. But if it takes 45 days to handle something instead of 10, that needs to be.
Well, again,
It said 10 for a
I
resolution.
know I keep on going back. When we left the lawyer's office,
No, I'm talking about the.
Interviews.
I'm talking.
Grievance
Yeah, I'm in the
process.
grievance that we filed.
okay.
And our original grievance, I know you came back and said it wasn't signed, and that was the additional time. But it's almost like our time kept being pushed. So even when you came in and interviewed us, you kept saying, you said a couple of weeks ago. Well, it wasn't a couple of weeks ago. It was 6 weeks ago that they had come to interview us. So I think that we just need to, a lot of this has been very unclear, and that's the frustration of it. It needs to be clear in black and white how to handle situations. And if our board policies need to be reviewed and updated, if we need to start having forms, but as an employee, I should be able to file a grievance and it be taken seriously without AEA being involved.
Yes.
I mean, so we need to look for what can we do positive and what positive outcomes can help our school system from the situation.
Yes, ma'am.
Not just let it, okay, we've handled this situation, now let's move on. We need to put something in place so that this doesn't happen again.
Yes.
I mean, we shouldn't
And
have to
also back
hunt
to
down
back to the code of ethics. Law being law, being recorded without our knowledge is unethical. If you're coming in and you're going to create a unbiased investigation and you truly want to get to the bottom of it, why wouldn't you just say, just so that we don't misconstrue anything, we're
Right.
going to record this. Is that okay with you? That's what you did because you were being
Exactly.
ethical. That we still haven't gotten those recordings, and we feel like they're ours. We should have them.
No, ma'am. I checked into this by law. Now, and I was going to offer those recordings were made by but now I will. If you want to listen to them, you can come by my office and I'll make a date. And I was going to request that because there was some discrepancy,
Okay.
that they be first.
Okay. That's fine.
So-
We had nothing to hide. That wasn't
Yes,
the point. We told the same story to you. You probably
Yes,
saw
ma'am.
that. But it was just the unethical, why? That's why, like I said before, we feel like the criminals. It's like everybody's on Miss' side and not
Well,
the 6 of us who are telling you.
And
a plan.
Miss being brought in just now. I mean, that could have happened months ago.
Yes.
Right.
But
Yes.
I mean, it took Mrs. to bring her in to ask her what happened.
Yes.
You
Right.
could have
Yes.
done that,
And we can.
and that she solved it right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really just all very shocking to me how
It is.
everything's been handled.
It is.
It's very
It's very
frustrating.
And another thing, I know with me and others, she kept saying 12 years that I worked here. And I know during my interview with you, you said 13. Well, in about 5 minutes, I was able to access the teacher certification. It's impossible. She graduated in May of 2010. She's in her 9th year, and that's just supposing that she was hired in fall of 2010, because I'm sure she wouldn't have been hired without a bachelor's degree or teaching certificate. So it just seems like there's an effort to maximize her time here. I mean, 8 years is a far cry from 12 or 13. I would think that the head of personnel would have that information, especially if we're doing an honest, unbiased investigation. I expect when my director of personnel is telling me that she's been here 12 years,
But she's been there 12 years.
that there's truth. And I know you said you weren't sure,
Yeah.
and I understood. And said my curiosity, I was like, let's see.
I did know that she was here whenever Miss Brewer was here.
Yeah, well, I mean, 2010 is when she got her certification.
Okay.
I'm sure
She
it's
may have
on
subbed,
record.
but
Yeah,
as an
but-
educator, she was,
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question as far as that. So Dr. refuses, even though it's law that she can, but she refuses to give them a copy like
I haven't
this?
asked her.
Because you told them that they would get that.
Yes,
and that-
over and over.
Like I said, y'all can come by and listen, and like I said, you can ask her, if she wants to give you a copy.
Okay, what was the discrepancy? Was it the denial of representation?
ma'am.
Yes. Well, she didn't start recording
Recording
until
until
after.
after we got in
So
there.
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
'cause-
no
That's the
discrepancy.
reason why I asked,
Yeah.
I didn't ask you, I asked Ms. Gathers when she made the request.
Yeah.
and
That was
because-
when I was still in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, she didn't
yeah.
start. Yeah, so
we're
you're not
both
going to
a
hear
liar,
that.
You're a liar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm not saying you said that, but I'm
Right.
saying, but I.
But that's what you're telling us,
I'm saying
yeah.
you said that, but I'm just saying that that's, because I asked about that, because I was concerned about that,
Yep.
that was, because you, when I first told you, I said, that they weren't allowed, and you said, you had to check with, you didn't think she would do that. She did.
did.
She did it.
And that just shows you the unethical. This is why. This is why that was a mistake on her part. She would have actually saved herself had she have just been upfront and honest like you were, and we could say, sure, can I record too? You had no problem with us recording. You're safe, we're safe, there is no discrepancies. But because she didn't do that,
That's right.
she shot herself in the foot.
Yeah.
And that's I don't want this to happen. I don't have a problem with her. I didn't know her really until I walked in that room.
Yep.
But she's not fair.
Yeah.
If she was fair, she would have treated us all the same way as she treated me. But I don't know her reasons for that, and I just know that I don't like the way I was treated. And I have that right to feel that way. And I don't want that to happen to another employee.
My other question is, was recorded as well?
I'm sure she was.
Oh, she spoke.
Has she had access to any of our recordings?
No, ma'am.
I know she has all of our documentation, and I think we had actually requested hers from the lawyer's office, and were never given them. But I guess it didn't matter.
And you've kind of
We
been put
could-
in the line of fire because of it.
Yeah.
Another thing is
Yeah.
that you have been put in the hot seat because of a misuse of her authority.
Well, that's part of my job.
I know it, but it's not fair, you know?
Anyway.
You don't want to be in this position
Like I
again.
said, the situation that her too,
I know it, but
But I-
still,
you know,
you know what I mean? I mean, that's,
I
like you're
regret-
getting
and then,
the brunt of it.
Hey, that's the reason.
We just
I
would like to see
understood.
something done about that.
Anyway, I know I gave you an email or letter. I'll put you on the agenda for Monday the 16th.
Monday the 16th.
That was the 9th.
I had to move it back. I've got the other situation. You'll be on the agenda for Monday the 16th. It'll be at the end of the board meeting. So, like I said, it's
An executive session?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You mentioned a timeline that you would get us tomorrow and we'll have an end in sight. I just want to know if we're going to be expected for her to be in the room the rest of the year.
Okay.
Yes, and I want to know. I want to have a clear picture before I leave for Christmas break,
That's
because
right.
most of my holidays have
Yeah,
been
this has got
consumed
stuff.
With
by
all
the
of
worry and the stress, and I'm just ready to pick up where we all left off, because we love each other and we treat each other respectfully, and move on. And that's just what we're ready for. And like I said in my interview, our jobs alone are stressful enough, and we depend on each other to pick us up when we're having our bad days and move forward. And we have that. We have that. We are women, and we might say, all right, you're bugging me, don't talk to me today. But that is a totally different thing than yelling and screaming at someone in the hallway and calling them the B word. We are professional about it. But we love each other. We're strong. If we weren't strong, we wouldn't all be here together and fight the way we have fought, and we have, and all be on the same page. And so we are just ready to be who we are, and like she said, and enjoy this wonderful school with our
And have a
great
peace of
kids.
mind.
We all are happy. I come to work every day. I used to, and I loved coming to work. It's stressful now.
You had asked about the TIFs or whatever. That just, to me, speaks more about how we are able to get along. I mean, we work together. We don't always agree on everything. We're going to have an argument, but that is very different from the situations.
That's what I wanted to compare the two.
We've all gotten on each other's nerves at one time or we were together 40, 50 hours a week.
I need to know how their TIF,
They love each other. Absolutely. Yeah.
But I still need to know how that compared.
And to me, the question seemed, and maybe I didn't give you enough time, but the question seemed as if, once again, we're trying to pick point why you're wrong and she's right. And I just I'm done with that, because I'm not wrong. And if I'm not wrong, I'm not wrong. And if I was, I would say I was. I wouldn't have made it this far. I wouldn't have pushed it like I have if I thought I was doing something wrong.
Now, we've been involved with it longer.
Right.
And I never told him she was wrong. How come
It just appears that way.
This is a grudge holder. I don't even know any other way to put it. She will hold grudges to the day is long.
Not just hold a grudge, she'll act
upon that grudge.
As long as it's not in her back pocket, if she gets out of her back pocket, she's going to be right there.
Yes.
Watch out.
It's a matter of time.
In my job, that's always,
You turn on her, you don't give her the right answer, you're going to be in her grill.
Well,
In the wrong way up.
I get caught up in either way. In fact, I'll call us again this afternoon, but I'll have you something tomorrow.